Welcome to the Inkbeard Chronicles. My name's Ron, and today I would like to discuss my top 5 favorite fantasy novels of all time. Some of them do stretch in this series. They're not standalone. They are very much, most of them are epic fantasy. And let's start with book 1. Book 5. So I guess it is kind of a rank between 1 through 5. They kind of blurry a little bit between 2 to 5, I suppose. Book 1 is very much cemented as my top favorite book of all time. But let's get started. Coming in at book 5 is The Legend of Drizzt. Book 1, The Homeland by R.A. Salvatore. I've been trying to think about what I was going to say about these books and try to avoid as much spoilers as I can. So let me just give you kind of a brief description. We have a dark elf named Drizzt. He grew up in the city's name, I believe, is how do you say that? Mezobranzen? I apologize, I butchered that name. Something fierce. But this world underground is very cutthroat. You have a matron, and I believe is it Matron Malice? I want to say it's Matron Malice. It's been a while since I've read all these, and I definitely have to go through it. But it is just, I think it's spanning like 30 plus books now in this series of his life. Maybe even more than that. It might be 40. Yeah, it might be 40. But if you haven't checked out Drizzt, it's just the pinnacle, I believe, of anybody starting out in fantasy. If I were to recommend any book to anybody starting out, it would be probably The Legend of Drizzt, just because of the scope. It's a smaller book. It's easy to read, and it goes fast, beyond fast. That's Drizzt. All right. Book 4. Christopher Paolini. Aragon's. It's his inheritance cycle. First book is probably my favorite out of all of them so far. I am enjoying Murtagh, the newest one, which is a standalone. It's basically, the whole book is, says Murtagh, the whole book is about his adventures when he disappears. And I won't say any more about than that. This is another one I would recommend to any new readers into fantasy. It's about a boy named Aragon. He's a very, very skilled hunter. He loves his bow. And he's one of the bravest ones in his little village there. He loves to go into the Spine to go hunting. That's like the Spine Mountains. Everyone else is afraid of that place but Aragon. Well, you can see here, so it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm sure a lot of you have read this or probably even seen that movie where he finds a stone in the spine, which turns out to be a dragon egg. And that dragon's name, should I mention that? Okay, the dragon is Saphira, which you can kind of... I feel that this cover doesn't give a good representation of what Saphira really looks like. And if you want to see what I think Saphira should look like, it might even be, the Kickstarter's over, but Christopher Paolini had a Kickstarter where he had a statue made, and I think that statue is probably the closest I have come to seeing anything close to what I picture Saphira being. So, Aragon. Check it out. All right. Let's go on to book. Oh, that's right. Okay, we're going to have to skip that one. I will talk about that. It's my second one anyway. I'll wait. The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I know a lot of people aren't really grooving too well for this guy right now because he kind of shady business, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, he's not a loved author at the moment. He still has some diehard fans out there, but we'll stay away from that a little bit. But this series, I could not put down the story of Kavoth and his ventures, growing up as a kid, traveling with the troop, getting into all kinds of mischief, and man, can this guy play a lute. I won't say no more, but if you want a series that'll keep you engaged from start to end, The Name of the Wind is just... It's amazing. And yes, I know book 3, if it comes out at all, it's hard to say if it will come out or when it'll come out. But I will still be reading it. I'm still a fan of Patrick Rothfuss, and I won't say any more than that. But the book that I do not have here that I noticed is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Lord Grimdark, he has that name for a reason. All his series are just, it's great. I mean, don't get me wrong, the world is vibrant, it's beautiful, it's dangerous, but his characters are very much in the gray spectrum. How do I describe any more than that? You have Logan Ninefingers, which is the main central guy throughout this entire 3-book series here, this trilogy. And he has the ability to talk with the spirits or the ancestors. Try to avoid any spoilers. And then you have Proctor, who is a guy that you love to hate or hate to love, depending on your take. He is a torturer, and he's been through some hell. But this whole story of Logan Ninefingers is just a masterclass in what grimdark should be, in my opinion. There's a lot of twists and turns. There's a lot of dialogue, because that's what Joe Abercrombie specializes in character voices. His prose are second to none, and I mean, that's comparing it to Patrick Rothfuss. And his prose, I thought for sure were second to none until I started Joe Abercrombie. That was book 2, and I'm going to try to put a photo. Maybe I can see if I can do this. If not, this is going to look really stupid. I'll try to put the book in between my fingers here. We'll see if it pops up. All right, number 1. My favorite of all time series. If you read the bio on my YouTube page, you have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It is my favorite book out of the entire series. A close second would be Prisoner of Azkaban. And the story of Harry Potter and the ventures he goes through, from a boy getting abused by his cousin and his uncle and aunt to the wizard that he becomes, it's just, it's a crazy ride. It's an adventure that is. I recommend this 100% to anybody and everyone, young kids, adults. It doesn't matter. You will find something to love in the Harry Potter series. And you will find characters that you absolutely hate at the beginning and find out that you love them in the end. Or you might love a character and hate him in the end. So it's got something for everyone. I know I hate to say that again. It sounds like a broken record, but this is my all-time favorite. It will probably remain my favorite, even though I have, some amazing books in this list. All right. My video yesterday when I was riding on my way to work, I have 3 authors that you've probably noticed was not in my top 5. And the reason for that, if this was my S tier, this would be, I called it my celestial tier yesterday. It's basically my way of saying it is like my God tier. It is hard to beat. And the reason for that is, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of others, they changed the course of fantasy. They either written rules or changed rules or just redefined it from where it was until what it is now. And first, you have to say J.R.R. Tolkien. I mean, he is the grandfather of fantasy. He is the creator, in my opinion, of fantasy. I know, not true, just in my opinion. But without him, I think it would be very, very dull, what we're receiving nowadays. I think a lot of what you read and what you've seen stem from what J.R.R. Tolkien has wrote. That would be book 1 in that. And then, I could not find this other one, so I'm going to do this again, see if I can't post that. I must have borrowed it to somebody. And this is another one who stands above the rest, and this is George R.R. Martin, which I believe, if it wasn't for him, you would not have authors such as Joe Abercrombie. And yes, he is an awesome author, and he probably would have stood out on his own, even without George R.R. Martin's help. But I believe George R.R. Martin defined that. They called it the dark fantasy at the time, now kind of transitioned to grimdark. I believe, very, very much so, that without George R.R. Martin in what he brought to the table with his Song of Fire and Ice, which another series that's still not finished, but still coming out a bit faster than Patrick Rothfuss. I won't say any more about that now. That series, just, how do I say that? You got Jon Snow, you have Lord Stark. The characters, the world, and what he was able to do with, which I believe this series was kind of influenced by the Battle of Four Roses, or the Battle of Roses, or something like that. I don't remember off the top of my head. I apologize for that. But, yeah, he is another big one for me. George R.R. Martin. Incredible author. Sounds like, just with his interviews, he seems like a downright decent dude. But what comes in third here, and here's another one that I'm sure Brandon Sanderson. This guy is absolutely incredible. How many novels this guy can knock out of the park, and the length of novels. What is this? Over 900 pages? The Stormlight Archive is just a masterclass in fantasy. He's finally finished the first act up with his next book that just came out in this series. But if you haven't checked out anything from Brandon Sanderson, I highly recommend it. I would start out with something a little smaller, like Elantris, or even, let's see if I have it up here. The Warbreaker. A standalone, but it is incredible. It is fantastic. I'm not going to do any spoilers. I'm not going to say nothing more about this. But if you have not read Warbreaker, as you could tell, it is very well loved. I read this a lot. I've probably read this 7 or 8 times, easy. Check it out. Super good. Thank you all for checking out this video about my top 5 favorite fantasy novels. I've been really enjoying creating book content. I have learned a lot. I'm still kind of nervous, as you could tell. I'm kind of fidgety. I am getting better with it, and I hope you guys can bear with me and watch as this content grows. I'm enjoying this so much. I thought if I get to 500 subscribers, I was going to get a camera. I think I am going to get a camera a lot sooner because, like I said, I am enjoying this a lot. I like talking to you guys. I love reading the comments. And I think it's only been 2 weeks, and I'm almost up to 20 subscribers already. And to me, I thought for sure I'd only have 5, maybe tops at this point. So thank you. Thank you all very much for subscribing. And I also want to mention I am working on my own novels. I have a couple written already. And if that would be something you'd be interested in reading, I'm thinking about creating some Patreon where it'll be free. It'll be free. I'm going to release one chapter on that. And I think I'm going to, if I get some positive vibes, I think I'm going to start it this weekend. And I'll throw up the first chapter of one of the books I'm working on. And see if you guys like it. And I'll have other tiers on there if you'd like to support the channel. There won't be any higher than $5. I don't want to break the bank for anybody. And I want everything will be accessible. Like I said, all the content will be available for free. It's just a way to kind of give myself, oh, hi, Tankers. Hi, buddy. You want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? Come here. What you get? I'll see it. Oh, here's my other big boy. Say hi, Tankers. Say hi. You say hi? Yeah, I know. He's a big boy. He's a very big boy. All right, buddy. Go play. Well, thank you all again for watching very much. If you would like to support me, please. Easiest way to do that is liking the video and subscribing to the channel. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.